What's up, everyone? I am your host, Honeybee, and we are sitting here at the wonderful and most famous Sugar Moms in Old City. If you don't know about it, ask someone. I'm here with some of my cool friends, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves to you.
Hi, I'm Brian Turner, writer and founder of the blog The Cufflink.
My name is Jared King, co-founder of thecufflink.com as well.
Hi, I'm Rose Lombardo, and I'm a woman about town.
Hey, I'm Roman Anthony Barksdale, and I'm a freelance stylist with the Philadelphia Eagle.
Okay, so there you have it. We have a great group of panelists tonight, and we're going to talk about all things on relationships, politics, and of course, sex and whatever else we come up with, right? Okay. All right, so lately me and my friends have been talking about dating. Like, how do you define like a date? Like, what's a date to you?
Date. Well, that's interesting. I just met this gentleman, and we started talking about dating. And you know, something about dating to me sounds like so like 1950s, like fresh face, like happy days, like Lincoln Arms and
like courtship in a sense.
Going steady.
Yeah,
Going steady.
Or like, so a date to me sounds like this sort of arranged meeting of two people that don't know one another, that are kind of in a sticky and awkward social situation, that are trying to like make it through and maybe give hand jobs at the end of the night. That's what I thought. Maybe. What?
I know, you know, but I understand. I mean, we live in a town where it's like a phone app. You can date through like a phone app these days. I mean,
Is that a date or is that a
not
hookup?
dating. That is a hook.
Hey,
up.
it
You know the dates
Yeah.
I date on a website called, it's an app called, there's Grindr, there's Scruff,
I know about those
and
apps.
there's one called Jack. And I've had about, since 2011, I've dated probably like 20 guys on here.
Wait, so you like meet them up front? And
Yeah.
So it's like, so you're into like online dating, basically.
I'm into online dating.
Because I heard that's just the new wave. Like I even created a profile. I'm ashamed to say I was doing research.
Oh.
Okay.
Is this a date though? Is this a hookup or is this a date?
This is a date.
So what's a date? Are you meeting at a
Cloth
restaurant?
napkin? Is it cloth napkin? Is it like out? Like what?
Yeah, most cases, it's a restaurant in the city somewhere, or even maybe out King Fresh or something like that. But it's a date. Most cases, it's a date. I won't lie. You know, I have a side of me.
So who pays for the first date?
Well, see, that's a different thing. With gay people, usually, it's if someone's feeling generous, that's one thing. But usually it's Dutch. You know.
Oh, for gays, it's
Yeah.
Dutch.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
For non-gays, it's Dutch.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, hold on. Rose.
We're not
Because first
gay.
of all, if I go on a date with you the first time and you ask me on a date and call yourself a gentleman, I think you should pay the first time.
it's old school.
I like I'm like the
But if you ask, if I was
traditionalist a little
asking you on
bit.
a date, then I would pay.
Yeah, because if I
I
ask
wouldn't
you,
let you pay for
and
it.
if you are the man that I want you to be, you wouldn't let me pay. Exactly. Even if I offered, even if I asked you like, hey, come hang out with me, and I really didn't think it's a
The
date.
men I hang out with let me pay.
Oh no.
Well, what is that? Maybe it doesn't mean anything. Well, maybe it doesn't mean anything because I also hear this new thing where it's like, you know how you go out to the clubs or lounges or whatever, and like a guy will come try to talk to you? Most girls feel like if a guy tries to come talk to you, you should offer me a drink. I mean, if you're talking to me for longer than like 10 minutes. Like, if you're trying to give me a whole life story.
That is
That's why
hookery.
they
You
don't
should
like
find
the
this
guys
a
on
stripper
top of
club.
me.
That's stripper club. No, stop.
Hey,
Stop.
that's what it is.
That's
Sugar.
If you're talking, you're talking. I can
Well,
have my
yeah.
own drinks. It's a conversation.
But
I'm not
no, but what-
expecting, or I don't think
Right.
people should expect. You know.
So there's comes with expectations, but some guys were saying, well, I wouldn't mind if a girl offered me a drink. Maybe, it doesn't have to always be the pressure on the guy. You know what I mean?
I agree.
But wait,
I think-
Jared, you're like the kind of guy who buys guys drinks and stuff like that, right?
Well, yeah, I would. I mean, if you see somebody that you like, why not offer them a drink and go that extra mile?
That's what I think. If you're going to talk to me longer than 10 minutes, that means you like me. That means that you want to get to know me. So I think that the drink would just kind of like make it.
But I think Jared's right. Like that's how you establish contact with somebody.
Right.
And also, Jared, when we just met, that you strike me as a classic man.
Yeah, like
You
old
seem like you were a
traditional.
classic
Yeah.
man. Like you would come and you would, you know, you would just be very polite and warm and offer.
Some people play by the rules, and some people don't.
You know what? I don't like playing by the rules.
I like playing by the rules for the most part. Okay.
I kind of feel like we live in a time where like y'all can do something unconventional. I feel like everything has been done. I feel like in my lifetime, I've just seen and heard everything. I'm always looking for something a little bit different. Like, let's actually go out to like a comedy club or like some place like something so different.
Yeah, out the box. Because to me, I no longer
Yeah.
think we go to the movies, we're on a date. No, I think we went to
You
the
can't
movies,
talk
and that's
to the
it.
movie
You know,
I've
like a
always
good
said-
date for me is like, I don't know, like take me someplace spectacular, go to the art museum, look at some stars, go
Aren't you guys
dancing.
nervous? Aren't you guys like freaking out? Aren't you like, oh my, it doesn't seem like anyone's going through this process of crazy that I
No, because I'm always excited to meet someone new. Always, I'm always.
That dating is so you don't have to be so apprehensive about dating. It's just meeting somebody. If you don't like them, then you don't have to talk to them. It doesn't have to be anything that's
Yeah. No
not serious,
pretenses.
you know?
That's the whole thing. A date is just let me get to know you.
But that's hard for me. I always have expectations, and
I'm with
you know,
you.
when you're looking for love and all that.
I'm always looking for love. Inside my heart wants love. You know what I mean?
you
But
get
I know
friends with
I can't just find love on the first date. I can't. No one knows
You're right.
anyone on the first date. Like
Yeah,
entirely.
you're right.
We put on our best faces, which is the next question. Like, what's like a first date pet peeve to you? Like when you go on a date with someone the first time, you're like, oh my god, can you stop?
When somebody decides to dictate the whole way that the date's going to
Oh my
go.
god. Or like they order your food and they didn't even ask you what you
No,
wanted.
before you go out to the date, they tell you what to wear. They tell you,
People
okay,
have done that?
are you out of the house yet? That's happened to me, and then I'm immediately turned
I'm turned
off.
off.
Well, guess what? I don't know how to think for myself. So sometimes I really like it when someone will think for
And you
me.
know
Well,
what?
that's taking
I can
charge.
appreciate that though. Like you know, like
Here's what you wear. It's black tie. Rose.
Well,
Get
that's
dressed up
different. That's like
you
you're
know,
telling me what the setting is. I don't want to have my funky clothes on and I walk into a black tie event
Okay,
and I'm
that's
like,
true, that's
oh
true.
But I
my
think this
god.
guy was basically treating you like this is your first time out of the house and you don't know how to dress for a date.
yeah,
Exactly.
that's what that
And
sounded like.
I know how to dress.
Yeah.
Well, for me,
If you guys dated, we should probably, you know, you guys went on a date together.
We went on a date. Yes.
one day.
Let's clarify that.
And they found out on that one date that they were better as friends, you know? And sometimes that's all you need to know. But for me, a pet
So what
peeve.
went wrong?
No.
What went wrong? What went
No,
wrong?
we went out. We went out.
Oh, you're out. You're out there now.
I know we are.
Oh my god.
I asked him out on a date, and we were talking. We had coffee, Starbucks, Suburban Square. We went to to a bench or something. We were just talking, and like sometimes when you're dating someone, whatever, you have this sexual energy or whatever. No, don't get it twisted. I think Jared's an attractive guy, all that, but I respect him. I have respect for him, and it was like, you know, sometimes he's a guy you like him a certain way, but I didn't want to like, you know, ravage him, disrespect him.
It's the same thing. I mean, it was just, and
It's
I don't think it's,
mutual
I don't think
respect.
it's necessarily something that went wrong. I think it's
You
just,
just knew that it was
went a different
direction.
route.
Maybe it was supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
For me, a pet peeve is phone action. This is a generation of iPhones and technology. Here, I'm still a traditionalist a little bit. Like, talk to me, you know? You had time to look on your phone and all of that. Don't like, oh yeah, so where are you from? On Facebook.
It feels like
I'm
it's like a
why
secret
you here?
spy. Like, are you
Scheduling
telling
the next
someone
date.
this? I'm like, are you telling
Scheduling the next date.
Oh, let me Instagram this picture of the food we just ate because everyone cares.
Well, how
You know,
about
you're not-
texting in the first place?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't like anybody who like I go out with and like, cause for real, if I go out to any place with anybody, I'm gonna turn my phone off. I'm one
Yeah,
of those
for me,
people.
I'm
because I feel like
too,
I'm
yeah.
gonna give you that time.
That respect,
I mean,
that little bit of time.
just a little bit. I
Out of
mean,
my
trust me,
whole
it's
busy
not
world.
going to be it. And really,
Right.
it's normally it's never that busy
Exactly.
as we think it is.
Right.
But I feel like you need to stay classic to like the certain things of just like at least having like a conversation because that's really a date. It's really like that's why I don't believe in movies because
Yeah, I don't
you
like
can't really
that. It's not,
talk
you
in
can't
movies.
talk. You don't know me like that. And also, I don't believe in movies for the first date because I don't want you trying to touch me in the darkness. Because let me tell you, like nowadays, men are so used to getting whatever they want the first time they meet someone that it would seem odd for me to say no to anything. You know what I mean? So I say meet me at the movies in this dark situation, and it's also the
That's
people
a
who movie
molester.
into.
You were dating a molester. You were being
I mean, it's never
molested.
happened to
I
me,
know,
but I don't want you to
what's
get
wrong,
any
Vincent.
ideas. I don't want you to
No,
get
That
any
wasn't a
ideas.
date. That was a molestation.
Well,
I've gone on dates with guys, and I've gone to movies and then walked over to like Logan Square, this fountain and all that. and just had a conversation and talk.
And for me, that was back in the day dating. Today dating is like so strange. Like I don't even
I'm
know
a Love
how.
Jones dater. I love that.
Yeah, I'm a Love Jones dater too. I love.
What's a Love Jones dater? What's that?
Have you seen Love Jones the movie?
Yeah, but what's a Love Jones dater?
I know, right?
It's just like an old. It's like an like
We just kicking it?
An old school way of thought. Gentlemen taking, whether it be a guy or girl or whatever,
Right.
just treating each other well and going
Yeah.
with the best of intention.
Yeah.
I like that.
And putting those romantic things in there.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with romantic than a family.
Like I wish somebody would show up in my door on
like
the first
that.
date or show up in the car and have flowers for me. People don't give flowers anymore. What, you don't like flowers? I love flowers.
Die, though.
So what? I love flowers.
What if
Somebody
I give you
date
some?
me.
What if I give you some seeds and some soil, and the flower grows, and you'll have it forever?
That's nice too.
That's cute.
That's
know.
a touch of class.
Yeah. That's real
2012. It's
cute.
2012.
If I rode a bicycle, I would be Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah.
And she looks like what's the girl that sings Katy Perry? That's what they look like. They look exactly alike. I'm like, how these two women look so much alike?
I wonder if they're friends. They should be friends.
But I feel like Katy Perry would be like, I'm not gonna be her friend. She's just like me.
Katy
no.
Perry from another planet.
Another
love
pet
her.
peeve would be like if you got drunk. To me, if you got really drunk on the first date. Excuse me, you call yourself an adult and you can't hold your liquor, and you on the first date, you don't even know me like that. Like, why are you
Why
drunk?
not?
They're nervous.
Yeah.
You're nervous, but don't drink
that's
too
what I
much.
would do.
Like, if you drink too much, you get wasted. Like, no guy. If I got wasted on a date, why would he call me on the second date and it's the first date? He would have to take care of him, throwing up everywhere. He's like, look at this trashy girl.
You
Like,
take care of you too. So.
And I bet
in
you
another
he
way.
And he would still pull his phone out and Instagram.
And still, he probably would Instagram me drunk.
Who is she dating? Who are you dating? And you're like,
I never been.
Well, this is why.
Let's see this little black book.
This is why I have not been on a date in a while, because I feel like it's strange. The whole arena of dating is strange. I think being single is like this for me. I feel like it's good and it comes with its bad. You know, I would rather just be with one person.
You know what you need? You need a friend
Yeah, you do.
to hook you up with somebody that they already know. That's your
Everyone
people.
says that, and then you have a friend to hook you up, and you're like, oh my.
You know
But
what? Because you pay too much attention to your zodiac, and you need to let that go, girl. I think you just need to not ask
never
for
let the
somebody.
You never let the zodiac go. Put the tape on the girl's mouth.
Wow, let it go.
You set me up on a date with a Sagittarius. I don't know.
I don't know. Some people listen to this
See,
gonna
that
think
is
I'm
so
witchcraft.
that is so
No, I
shut
always
down.
give people a chance. Even if I know your sign, I still go on a date with you. I don't have preconceived notions if I go. I'll go on a date with anybody who I find attractive or smart, really mentally, intellectually. Yeah, that's really good. Not just your look. I don't just care about your look. I don't care. Who cares about
Yeah.
that? That's shallow. Like it's so like 1960s.
And a job. I don't care.
This
if
is
it's a
crazy
job.
that you're saying that when we all look like this. When we are all sitting here looking like this, and we're like, I think that there is something to be said about the way you style yourself.
I do too.
Because you are, you know, like you can
Right.
pick out like a bit of an attitude and a flair and a such and
can.
such. If somebody
Right.
is like Gap mannequin number one,
Yes.
Yeah.
you know, or if
I like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Judging a date by the mannequin. Which one is
No,
it?
I mean,
Which
I can
one?
definitely say, like, I mean, even though people don't like to say it, but
Right.
like, we all have in our mind the perfect person, and I think that it also goes with
I used
how
to. I don't feel like
they
it's any
dress.
perfect anymore.
I mean, you don't know how many times I used to work in retail for many years. How many times like ladies would come in and say, "I wish that my husband would dress like this" or something. I mean, it's like we love these people, but like she said, it says something about you. I mean,
Yeah.
it says something about you on that first day. The
Yeah, I'm
mannequin
judged
number
a lot by the
one.
way
I'm
I
like
dress.
mannequin number one times 3D.
Most regular, I like regular everyday guys. So most guys think, oh, she's so fashiony and this and that. She's not my type. I like a plain Jane girl. I get judged by the way I dress, and I think it's unfair. You know, I
It's
don't
not.
think.
It's we're human beings with eyes. It's not unfair. Okay. Everyone can have an opinion. Everyone's
You
allowed to have
can,
an
but don't
opinion.
judge me. But don't stick to me, because I feel like if you really try to get to know me, you realize like it doesn't matter about what you have on. To me, it doesn't. Like we can twerk
me,
it a
it
bit.
does.
It does, but it doesn't.
110%.
It's like this. I mean, I don't want you looking like total trash, you know.
Well-
but we can twerk it. You know, if you have like an idea of where you want to go with the fashion sense that you just really don't know, then I can take you to some stores and I can show you like, here, this is what you want to look like.
After
you know
a
what I mean?
certain age and after a certain amount of dating, I can tell you, we always say opposites attract. I tend to think you gotta live the same way. I
Yeah.
kind of feel like to a certain extent, it'll like you'll accept it, and then after a bit, I think that you guys get sick of each other
Yeah, like-
and those same
You're like,
things
you
that you
still
fall
got
in love
those
with.
plaid pants on. You're
know,
like,
in the
I had
beginning-
these plaid pants on when you met me.
Yes, yes. And
Oh yeah, it was buzzing up in there. But don't you worry, we'll have more beehives next week. Every minute there's someone out here waiting for the response, and the test reads positive. Every second someone is diagnosed with the HIV virus. Could that be you? Join us today on the Buzz Club as we examine the virus and we examine what AIDS looks like for me and you.
I'm ready when you are.
I'm always ready. Are you ready, Vincent? Are you
I'm
nervous?
always ready. I'm not nervous. I'm never nervous about my story. I have a gift to give.
Well, I'm glad that you're here to share this gift with us.
Vini has agreed to tell his story about living with AIDS in the gay community. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
That's good.
So can you tell me how you contracted the virus? Or when you found out that you contracted it?
Yeah, like when I found out was March 30th, 2008. And I went to the doctor because I had an infection in my nutsack.
You mean your
Yeah, my
your
scrotum.
scrotum?
So it was really weird. Like when I would like come, it looked like snot instead of like the typical white.
Right.
So basically, I was really worried, and I went to the doctor, and I was like, "Hey, check me for everything because I clearly have something wrong."
Right.
And so they checked me for everything, and the only test that came back positive was for HIV/AIDS. And on that day, after you test positive for AIDS, they take all these vials of blood from you. And I guess they probably took like 12 vials. And they found out that my T-cell count was 180. And what that means is like most people have like anywhere from 800 to like 12,000 T cells.
Oh.
And these are what like fight all of your infections and diseases and like the common cold and the flu and everything. And if you go below 200 T cells and you have the virus that causes AIDS, HIV, you are considered to have AIDS at that point. That's when the virus is no longer the virus that causes AIDS, but in fact, AIDS.
It's full blown.
Full blown, but they don't use that term anymore.
Why not?
I don't really know why they don't use that term anymore. I think it's just like slightly derogatory, potentially. And so like the CDC will label you as it, like somewhere in a file somewhere I'm labeled as having AIDS, not HIV. And like I guess the CDC is in Atlanta or something like that. I get that from watching TV because on that zombie show, whatever it's called, that's like they go there at one point and it's in Atlanta, but they went to the CDC, so I gather that that's where it's at. But like, I'm not allowed in other countries, so I think that's because like there are certain countries that I can't go to.
Really?
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
America used to be one of them until Obama came into office and then changed that completely.
So it means that you can't travel to another country?
Like, I'm not allowed to enter the country of Australia.
Because you have AIDS?
Because I have HIV/AIDS.
So there are
Either way.
restrictions on where you go in the world?
There's restrictions on travel based on that. Other diseases too. There are other diseases you can't travel because of, or like go to other countries. And
wow.
So like somewhere that's listed in something that you are presenting when you go into another country. From what I gather, this is all like my own assertion of the way things work. But anyway, so the CDC labels me as having AIDS, not HIV. I start a tripla, which is like 1 pill a day. It's got 3 medicines in it. And it's this giant pink horse pill. And it's so funny because when I first saw it, I was like, this is huge.
Right. So from what I used to think, HIV or AIDS patients used to have all these medicines you take
It's called
daily.
a cocktail.
Yeah.
And what it is a tripla is a cocktail.
Right.
It's just a 1 pill cocktail.
Okay. Knocks you right out then.
What's that?
Knocks you right out.
Yeah,
Gets
it's like
right
1
in your
bird
system.
or like 3 birds, 1 stone. And because a lot of it's changed in the whole like HIV/AIDS medication world.
Okay.
Anyway, so there's this drug, a tripla, that I take every day, and it's supposed to like get it all under control. Well, a month later, after I tested positive, when I had 180 T cells, a month later I had 163.
Wow.
So I was getting worse, and right around then I started developing lumps all over my body, actually. Weird lumps. And if, in hindsight, like if I had paid attention earlier, they were following the lines of my lymph nodes. So as it turns out,
So
I
like
had...
you, like your lymph, like someone sometimes.
Yo, seriously, I had like a lump here, a lump all down here. I seriously thought I was becoming a dinosaur. I had lumps down my arm. I had lumps the size of my fist in my groin, and right above them, I had lumps the size of golf balls.
Were they painful?
Equilateral. Yeah, incredibly painful. And like I was having migraines every day. I was throwing up. I was literally dying. Literally dying. And I had no idea. And I went to the doctor and they were like, well, this is immune reconstitution. Here's a steroid. And the steroid they gave me actually makes Kaposi sarcoma worse. And what it is Kaposi sarcoma is normally on the skin. It's like sores. Have you ever seen Philadelphia?
I did. I was going to ask you about that.
So Tom Cruise in Philadelphia gets fired from his job because they could see his Kaposi sarcoma. Those blotches are Kaposi sarcoma.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. Did I say Tom Cruise? I meant Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
We were talking about Tom Cruise before we started filming.
So those blotches are everywhere and it looks like brown, like...
Yeah. They're like sores.
Yeah.
So, and as a matter of fact, it's one of the 20,000 some odd strands of the herpes virus. Because you know, that virus is crazy and it's got 1 million strands.
Right.
Including chickenpox and shingles.
Oh.
So, this is just another strand, and no one's really clear on how you get this virus in you, but if you have it, it can be dormant forever until you have some kind of autoimmune deficiency syndrome, which will then cause it to go active. So, my body can't fight the cancer. I've got these migraines, I'm throwing up every day, I'm tired, lethargic, and I'm trying to graduate college. All at the same time.
Wow, so you found out, so what year were you in college when you found this out?
I was in my like junior, sophomore year.
Wow. So
because I graduated in May 2009. Right. And I found out I had HIV/AIDS in March. And then by like September is when I started having the lumps. And this whole time I had less than 200 T cells. So I get the lumps. And I go to the doctor and they give me a steroid and they make it worse, actually. They give me this steroid that makes the cancer worse and the lumps get larger and I'm sicker. And I'm like, this isn't working. And so they decide to send me to an oncologist. And I go to the oncologist and they give me a fine needle aspiration. They like stick a needle in and out one of the lumps and it comes out all watery and then it comes back positive for Kaposi sarcoma. Then I go to an oncologist. Well, they want to do a better biopsy. So it's my first surgery I've ever had, and they like cut out one of my lymph nodes and like tested it, and I have Kaposi sarcoma. So then I start treatment for cancer, and it was chemo. But it was like this really easy chemo called Doxil, and what it is it's like the chemical that is going to kill the cancer is inside these globs of fat. And they float around your body until they get to the cancer, and then they open up like 3 days later and kill just the cancer. So like it wasn't going to other parts of my body. I never lost any hair. I never got like really sick from it, anything. Right after I had my like second treatment of chemo, my T cells shot up above 200 for the first time in like almost 9 months. And at that point, I was like feeling great. Like the lumps had gone away. I was like, oh, okay, cool, I'm great. Like, yeah. Well, but I wasn't because then I do 2 more treatments. I'm good, and I graduate. Then it's like August 2009, and I see another. I had sores inside my eyelid, and that was one of the like with the lumps. I had some sores inside my eyelid, and one day I was looking at my eyes and I saw a sore. So I go back to the oncologist. I'm like, I think I have Kaposi sarcoma again. And they explained to me that this is something that is going to happen to me multiple times throughout my life. And it will never actually go away. It just like stops being an issue when my body can fight it. So evidently, like if I'm really, really sick, cancer is going to happen. And it's kind of a kick to the teeth. Yeah. So anyway, I get chemo again, and then I go to Burning Man 2009, which is like my first Burning Man experience.
What's that?
So much Burning Man. It's this like giant party in the desert for a week. Like people go and build a city, and then they take it all down and leave no trace.
And where is it located in Philadelphia?
In Nevada.
Nevada.
Mm-hmm. You should probably do a show on Burning Man someday.
I should.
I'll come back and tell you all about it.
Okay.
So, Anyway, I go to Burning Man, I get a chemo treatment, I go to Burning Man, I come back, I do 2 more, and I'm solid, and have been since 2009. And right after that, my T cells hit 500 for the first time ever. And then they went back down to 300 and have plateaued there for like 4 years, I guess, at this point. 3 years, 4 years, something like that. I kind of lose track of time.
So when you first found out, were you afraid? Did you contemplate suicide? What did you think?
No, actually, like, I'm 31 years old, and in my life, I've contemplated suicide a number of times. And at that point, I didn't think, oh, I need to die, because I was like, oh, I am gonna die. Like, I was like, oh, f it, I'm dying, like, who cares? And then, like, I talked with some friends, and in that same day, I felt much better about it. But, like, deep down inside of me, I became, like, self-destructive, and,
Meaning?
like, just, like, more sexually promiscuous, not using condoms anymore, like, never failing to tell somebody that I was positive, but sleeping with other positive people, and, like...
Because it's like, whatever,
yeah, it's like, whatever, and even though, like, that's not the case, because they can reinfect me and make me sicker, and, or I could reinfect them and make them sicker, and then there's, not to mention the plethora of other STDs that are out there that'll just make me worse, you know? So, so basically, like, I became really self-destructive in my behavior, and I started, like, drinking more, and, like, I always smoked weed. Like, I've cut back a lot on smoking weed recently, but, like, that didn't really change. However, I probably, in hindsight, was smoking a lot more, and it was, like, this slow kind of downward spiral, and then there was this point where I was like, oh, I'm fine with this. But I haven't been. Like, I actually haven't been okay with it, like, the whole time.
Next time on the Buzz Club.
I actually tried to kill myself a month ago because I decided to take a bottle of sleeping pills and drink 1.5 liters of wine and inform my mother that I was just going to kill myself because I couldn't deal with it anymore.
Part 2 of Vini's compelling story on the next episode of The Buzz Club.
And now, it's time for everyone's favorite girl to speak, Honeybee, because the girl is so sweet.
Welcome everybody. You are back to your favorite segment, Honey Says, and I'm here on Drexel's beautiful, beautiful park. It's a beautiful place. Look at the skyline behind me. Philadelphia is a beautiful city. Let's see what we have today. You guys know I was reaching to my briefcases, pull out the latest and the greatest. Dear Honey, my girlfriend has really bad habits, which include being messy and wearing really skimpy outfits when going out with friends. I've tried to express my concern, but she just laughs and brushes it off or really gets defensive. However, her lack of cleanliness is making me have second thoughts about taking the relationship to the next level, moving in together. Also, the way she dresses makes me uncomfortable and causes me to have trust issues. How can I communicate my feelings without seeming too controlling? Fashion police. Wow, they're fashion police. When it comes to telling women about what they're wearing, be very careful and tread very lightly. No woman wants you to tell them if they look terrible or if something looks bad. They always want to hear, honey, you look great. But in all actuality, we don't always look great. So how do you do it? Perhaps, well, for me, I know, if you're going to say something negative, always have something positive also in suit. So don't ever give a negative comment without giving a positive suggestion. So how about, instead of saying, oh, I don't like the way you dress, or maybe you should take that off, how about you take her to some of your favorite stores and show her some of the pieces you like? Say, hey, honey, I'm gonna take you shopping. Surprise, and then like pull out a few things at the store, tell her to try it on. Make it a fun couples outing, you know? Like, don't ever make her feel like she has to prove herself to you or she's not good enough, because I think that's what it's gonna come down to. And as far as her messiness, sometimes you gotta accept people as they are, or show them, lead by example. So if you want her to be more clean, how about when you go over her place, start start picking things up and just telling her, look, honey, I want us to clean up together. I don't want it to just be a one-person thing. And then she'll start to pick up better habits because, unfortunately, we weren't all raised by the same people. Some people's parents stressed the importance of being clean, and some people did the work for their children. So people are just confused when that comes around. So that's pretty much my take on it. If you got any questions, write me at teamhoneybee@gmail.com. Check you out later.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.